G'day friends, and welcome to our Stamp and Create Facebook Live. It's Vicky Wright, Independent Stampin' Up Demonstrator, Australia. So today what I thought we'd do is have a little bit of a play with a fun fold, as well as share some new products that sort of arrived yesterday. Okay, so what we're going to be using is the Something Fancy bundle from the new January-April mini catalogue. So that's it. It's got all these great sentiments as well as some fantastic shapes. Now, yeah, here it is. Just bear with me. I'm just going to grab the stamp set. So that's the stamp set. I like the fonts in this as well as the sentiments. And then this is the dies. So they're our dies. So you probably get about 3, 6, 9, 12 in here, all different shapes. I like them actually. We're going to be using these two, this shape here today. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using with our images. And the paper we're going to be creating with is the level 2 Sale-a-Bration Danity Designs. The patterns in this paper sort of remind me of the 70s. I don't really remember the 70s much, but being in the bush, it didn't really affect us. Or, you know, yeah, it was just another era to me. But some of them do remind me of those, but I do know they're not in the khaki browns or greens, that awful green that was around. So that's one side, okay, and then flip it over and there's the other side. Okay, so that's one part of it. Then, oops, pick up the book. Then there's this one with these patterns, and then those patterns. It's quite, I quite like the colours in it, and it suits all occasions. Be great for scrapbooking, I think. So you get 48 sheets and 4 of each pattern. So lots and lots of papers. Okie dokie, so that's what we're going to be using. Now, I'm just going to show you, I've actually cased the front of this card on my first card, the one I did, but that's as far as it ends. Okay, so just a small idea on a card can actually lead to something totally different. Okay, now I don't know what this fold is called, but this is the front of it, and then you just open it up, pull it out, and it pulls out like that. As I said, I don't know what the name of it is. That's the inside of it for your writing, but if you didn't have enough room, what you could do is stamp a sentiment in there and then have a piece of cardstock on the back to write your sentiment. Okay, so that's what we're going to be creating. Looks a lot of hard work. The hardest part is cutting all the pieces and remembering where goes where, or what goes where. And I will be honest and say, be careful, be very careful, because it is addictive. Okay, so that's our envelope, and I just cut a piece for the back as well. Okay, so that's what we're going to be creating. Now, I've written all our measurements down, so hopefully they're right, and they're hopefully in order that I've done it. Now, I haven't written the measurements for the letter size, but it's all the same except for the width of your base card and the length of your base card. Okie dokie. So let's get rid of all these. Now we're gonna do this piece. So that's our measurements: 8.5 by 5 7/8, 20.3 by 14.9 centimeters. What did I say? 8.5? No, sorry, it should be 8. So we're gonna grab our scoring tool, or simply scored tool, or your paper trimmer if you want, and we're gonna score. Okie dokie. So now I'll just take those. Now this can be I'll just do this as we go. Oh no, that's not my base card, is it? That's my panel. Flat panel, I don't know what it's called. Okay, just so I know where I am when I'm writing up the measurement tutorial. So we're going to score this at 1.5, 1.5, 2 3/4, 5 1/4, and I think it is 6.5. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Then we're going to grab our, which I forgot, so bear with me, bone folder. And we're just going to burnish these scored lines so that they're nice and crisp. And this one will come out that way, so it's a concertina fold. Okay. Now, if you use the letter size, this panel, this piece of cardstock is exactly the same size, okay, except for the length. So instead of cutting it at 5 7/8, you will cut it at 5.5. Okay. So just keep that in mind as you're creating it. So then we're going to just do that. Okay. Then we're going to put this panel together with all the bits and pieces. So we have that. We have these panels. Let's do this big piece first. So this is, I'm using Granny Apple Green and Pool Party, okay? So we'll put this as layer 1. Just so I know when So there are our measurements: 1 3/8 by 5 3/4, 3.4 by 14.6 centimeters. Now with the layering, this time round, I've just gone down 1/8 of an inch all the way around. Okie dokie. So we'll just put that aside for the moment. And what we're going to do is stick these two pieces together. I mean, on top of each other. Oh, this is really juicy. This is a brand new glue, so I've got to be careful. Now I know they're saying, and I couldn't get my head past it, but I'm hoping it'll turn out okay. You know that old saying, blue and green should never be seen. So let's hope it turns out okay. So this piece we're then going to stick to our right flap. I think that's right, yep. So this is going to be stuck to this piece here, okay? Just with a very narrow border around it, just like that. Okie dokie. Then we're going to do these two panels. So we'll just move these aside. So these can be layer well, it won't be layer 3 or 2. So that'll be 1. I'll work it out later anyhow, as long as I've got the measurements. So what we're going to do is stick these two pieces onto a piece of Pool Party. Okay, and I think we will use that side. Yep. So just to bring a little bit of white into it, I think. As I said, the hardest part of this card is chopping all the panels, and it is addictive. I want to create more and more just to see what the result is. We're going to stick that down there like that. That's done. Then we're going to stick this one down onto here. Like that. And what we're going to do now is put these pieces in here like that. Okay, so we'll put those two in now. Just dust my head in these zigzags. That's when my vertigo plays up, so it's just why I've only used a little bit. Okay, so that's that. So that's basically our mechanism, I suppose you could call it, finished. But before we do that, we're going to bring in a small piece of basic white, and we are going to stick a scrap piece of paper, only a small piece, because remember we've only got a little bit of writing area if you want to write inside, so I've only cut a little piece. You could also stamp it if you wanted to. So we're going to put that inside like that with just a little bit of edge showing. And I'm going to grab my scissors. Just chop that excess off and we'll put that inside. Just like that. So as I said, that's our mechanism done. Okay, then we've got 2 more pieces. Now, if you didn't want to have all the layers, you could just have your DSP straight onto your cardstock if you wanted to. But I always like a little layer, okay? So then we're going to grab these pieces. And we're going to stick these to 2 pieces of Pool Party. Now, these are the DSP. I've cut these a little bit shorter, as you can see, narrower than what the cardstock is, but you'll see why in a minute. This isn't taking as long as what I thought it would. I thought, knowing me, I'll get everything mixed up and back the front. But I won't speak too soon. So that's like that, okay? Then we're going to bring in our piece that we're going to use as our base card. So this piece measures 4 1/8 by 5 7/8. Okie dokie, or 10.4 by 14.9 centimetres. Letter size, you would just have it 8 by, sorry, not 8, 5.5 by 4 1/4. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to stick these pieces down each side. Now you don't have to if you don't want to. We're still going to leave a little bit of Granny Apple Green showing. Okay, so we're actually doing these pieces here. There. Okay. So that's one. Then we're going to do this one. And again, making sure that our DSP is the right way in sides, not pattern-wise. Okay, or pattern-wise if you were using a certain pattern. So that's that done. Then what we're going to do is grab this piece and we're actually gonna put it on our base panel like that, hoping that it all matches in nice and even, top and bottom, and then at the sides as well. Okay, so we'll just put a little bit of glue on the back of this. Now I always like to use glue, the adhesive, the Tombow, because it just gives me a little bit of play room. Oops. This is the trickiest bit I found, but once you work it out, you're pretty well right. So my hands aren't big enough. Making sure it's nice and squared away in the middle. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going by the squares on the graph paper and hoping that that's all nice and straight up the top. Just move it just a fraction. Yep. And then once that's done, grab your bone folder and just make sure it's stuck down nice and straight. And that's it. And they're the sides of the bus, the DSP at the side. If you wanted to, you could have made the DSP a little bit smaller so that you saw the pool party, but I'm okay with that. Okay, then what we're going to do now is we're going to do our front panel. Okay, as I said, lots and lots of little bits and pieces, but it's all coming together. Okay, so we're going to grab our piece of DSP and pool party. And we're going to stick our piece of DSP to the pool party. A little bit more, just to be on the safe side. I'm really loving this paper. This is the first time, well, I only got it yesterday, so I just like the colours. They're my colours. Okay, then what we're going to do is stick this to a piece of Granny Apple Green. Now I've used the same colours all the way around as part of the base, but that's not to say that you have to do it that way. Okay, then what we're going to do, we're going to put a little bit more glue. Oops. On that side panel. And we are going to adhere this piece in the middle. Okay, so that there's an even amount either side. So even amount down that side and an even amount down that side. And then just press that down again with your bone folder, just so it's stuck nice. You could even do it that way if you wanted to. If you didn't want it even, you could always bring this panel out to the side, I suppose, so that this panel is even with the top part of the card. Okay, so that is basically our card done. Easy peasy, eh? Look at that. Then what we're going to do is decorate. So let's do the envelope first. So this is just another piece of DSP that was left over from our cutting. And now this will make your card a little bit thicker than normal, but if it fits through the letterbox, it should be okay. Although postage has gone up here in Australia. I don't know what it is, but I was at the chemist yesterday and they said it had gone up. Okay, so that's done. Then what I did, I cut two shapes, one from Coastal Cabana and one from Basic White. Okay, we're going to stick these, the Basic White, on the Coastal Cabana. Now, I will let you in on a little secret here to make it nice and easy for you. What I did to make sure I got this piece in the middle, this piece here, the bottom or the top piece, lines up with the top or the bottom of that, see that shape there? Hold on. Just that shape there, okay? If you line the top of this up to in line with that curved shape, you should be okay. And I'd say it will work for all of them. And you should be even top and bottom and sides, okay? So that goes like that. Then we're going to pop this up. And I'll put one in the middle for good luck. And we're just going to put this right in the middle, I think. Just like that. Okay. Then what we're going to be doing is stamping our image with adorable apples. Okay, now I've already done it just to save a little bit of time because I didn't know how long it would take to create this card, and as I said, me being me, I was guaranteed and talked myself into having mucked it up. But in saying that, I've lost who they are. So I've actually stamped this little fella here, and I've coloured it in balmy blue. That's Greeny Apple Green, and his eyes are Coastal Cabana, and the feet and beak are Mango Melody. Okay, so I thought we'd just put in there, just for something, a little bit of fun. You don't have to have brown or black owls. So we're going to pop that up. It will make it a little bit higher than usual, but I think he's got to be popped up. Just like that. Now I went over the eyes and the bow tie with some clear wink of Stella too. Okay. Then I stamped, can't pick it up, the Happy Birthday from the everything, something, I can't remember the name of it now, Something Fancy, so that's the Happy Birthday there. And I used the die cut from the matching dies, and it gives it, I don't know whether you can see it, a small indent all the way around the edge. And what we're going to do is just put that right there. We won't pop that up, we'll just leave it like that. Okay. And just a little bit of glue at the back. And just stick it down like that. Oops. Stick it down like that. And I'm not even going to worry about any bling or anything, especially if it's for a boy's card. And that's our card. So this could be boys or girls, it doesn't matter. And that was my first attempt which I'm quite happy about, and I like the colours. That is the paper from Danity Designs. I've used a little bit of fresher open weave ribbon, and these are the pastel pearls, the pink. Okay, and it's been stamped in Memento Tuxedo black, same as this one, and the owl was stamped in the same before I coloured it with, I did say balmy blue, didn't I? Stampin' Blends, balmy blue, granny apple green, Coastal Cabana, Mango Melody. Okay, so there are our 2 cards for today, and I will have the next couple of days. I am a little bit behind in our tutorials, but I will try and get them done within the next couple of days. Oh, before I go too, don't forget to check out our birthday cards that Robbie and I have been sharing this month. We've got a carded day in January. That's Robbie Rebella from Creations in Paper and myself. It's all birthday cards, and we're using the Country Floral Lane DSP and the Country Gingham DSP from the mini catalogue. Okie dokie. So thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy your day. See ya. Hooray.